Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Pisces November 2017 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Well, anyway, people, first thing is, well, as far as November goes, the Sun will be in Scorpio from the 1st until the 22nd, and the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So for Pisces, this could be a strong focus and concentration of energy, perhaps on transformation of one's philosophy. It could also be religion. There could be a lot of focus perhaps on power struggles, even with in-laws. Perhaps some traveling, traveling abroad, I should say. Maybe exploring things that are really maybe mysterious lands that might have been uncharted territory for you, trying to figure, maybe going to mysterious place. I'm not saying necessarily the Bermuda Triangle or anything like that, but you understand what I'm saying. Next thing is, well, as far as November goes, the Sun will be in Sagittarius from the 22nd to the 30th, and the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be perhaps a time of this strong focus on matters connected with the career, the reputation, and public image, and doing so with a lot of Sagittarius-like expansive and exuberant like energy, done in a very optimistic way. It could be to maybe being more philosophical about one's career, shining in career matters, which could be Sagittarius related, could be connected with sports, philosophy, religion, publishing, and really about inputting, and also it could be about matters, a lot of concentration of energy on matters connected with authority figures and even the dominant parent at this time, which is often the father. So anyway, the next thing is, well, the full moon will be in Taurus on November 4th, and the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be a time where perhaps some kind of writing or communication culminates or ends that required perhaps a lot of Taurus-like persistence, patience, and perseverance. It could also be a case of the stubbornness coming to an end, perhaps maybe a relationship with siblings if applicable, or with a neighbor where you're dealing with a stubborn situation, or maybe one of these people were being very obstinate about something and weren't giving in, and maybe you finally this finally came to a conclusion, and the person gave in, or maybe you do, or something. So anyway, the next thing is, well, the new moon will be in Scorpio, I believe, November 18th, and the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So for Pisces, this could be perhaps some kind of new Scorpio-like higher education course that might be taken, something, it might be something connected with astrology, the occult, supernatural, or alchemy, or something connected with forensics, investigation, something associated with surgery, perhaps. So something Scorpio like might start at this time, that in terms of a higher learning and anything post high school learning. There could be a new, powerful, perhaps intense, in some cases, connection or relationship perhaps with a foreigner, or some new, or maybe some new traveling experience, traveling abroad to some mysterious or uncharted territory. So anyway, the next thing is, well, Mercury, as far as November goes, Mercury will be in Scorpio from the 1st until the 5th. And again, the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be about a lot of incisive and penetrating communications, perhaps with in-laws. It could be about with grandchildren, if applicable. This could also be ones that are very provocative, and also communicating about philosophies, but being very deep about them, nothing superficial, generally. This could be something too where you might be communicating perhaps about maybe publishing something at this time. And this could be very good when you're trying to write get something published, and it could be on some topic that is very profound and very deep. So anyway, also Mercury, as far as November goes, will be in Sagittarius from the 5th until the 30th, and the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, well, Pisces may be doing a lot of positive communications at this time, perhaps with authority figures. These could be very auspicious communications, ones with the dominant parent, which is generally the father, people in authority, superiors. It might even be with people connected with the government as well. And this could be about positively thinking about one's public image and reputation. The talk, it will often be really in an optimistic way and very expansive and upbeat, and being very and thinking very philosophically about one's career at this time, and thinking about expanding the horizons. Perhaps it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do anything with that, but it means that you might be at least contemplating and expanding your horizons on career and vocation matters. So anyway, well, the next thing is, as far as November goes, Venus will be in Libra from the 1st until the 7th, and the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be about having rather peaceful and very amicable, you could say, relationships with the sexual partner or with somebody you're in an intimate relationship with. This can, in some cases, this could be about getting your fair payments, so to speak, maybe over a matter connected with an inheritance as well, or something associated with taxes maybe that may be coming. So anyway, and this could be a time too where you might have a relationship you may embark on that, if you're unattached, that might really be very transforming, being in the 8th house and expressing a love for 8th house matters, but perhaps in like a balanced Libra way. It could be over a number of 8th house matters, or just one. It could be astrology, psychology, psychiatry, matters connected with death, surgery, those kind of things, those subjects. It might be or things with the occult or supernatural. So anyway, well, the next thing is, as far as November goes, Venus will be in Scorpio from the 7th until the 30th, and the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, if unattached, well, Pisces may be in start a relationship perhaps, or be in a relationship that might with maybe somebody that they meet in a long distance travel or journey, or foreigner that might be very deep and might be very provocative, nothing superficial, but one where you might, or maybe the one or where the you or the other person or both might be somewhat controlling, though, in this relationship. And it could also be, I mean, Venus is about money as well, and you're talking about the 9th house is publishing. So this could be a time where you could be making some money for something that might get published. It could be connected with the Scorpio, like things such as transformation, or talking about making someone's life better, for example, or something other Scorpio like, such as something connected with embalming, astrology, the occult, supernatural, something Scorpio like. Well, the next thing is, well, Mars will still be in Libra as far as November goes, and the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be a time where Pisces may experience some contentious and acrimonious experiences, perhaps with somebody they're in a sexual or intimate relationship with. But keep in mind that this is in Libra, so you could be talking about a lot of passive aggressive energy, so to speak, where you're not really exhibiting a lot of outward combative energy, but energy where it's more, the arguing is more subtle. It's more about maybe not responding if you don't agree with something, or changing the subject, or just not complying with somebody's request, that kind of thing. It could be putting a lot of energy and vitality, balanced energy and vitality into 8th house matters such as astrology, psychology, psychiatry, maybe making a major change or transformation. It could be into some kind of, it might be matters associated with credit cards, maybe trying to just to keep up with what you're doing as far as that goes, looking at credit card records, for example, just 8th house things in general. So anyway, the next thing is Jupiter will be in Scorpio, and the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So this could be a time where, I mean, Jupiter, and you're talking about Jupiter in the 9th house, this could be some strong luck and fortune, perhaps connected with 9th house matters, such as publishing, matters connected with higher education, long distance traveling. Publishing could be something Scorpio-like, such as something connected with the occult, with astrology, with the supernatural, with things that are with mystery, maybe a horror book, could be something associated with matters connected with death, even psychology. Those are some things to look at, and this is also about putting a lot of exuberant, enthusiastic energy into these 9th house matters as well, and matters connected with in-laws and grandchildren, perhaps, if applicable. So anyway, keep in mind too that Jupiter could also be paradoxical. I mean, given it is a benign and benevolent planet, but it could also expand and enlarge, and it could expand surreptitious activity connected with 9th house matters, such as grandchildren and or in-laws, and very secret, and they might find them really showing this expanded secretiveness more so than usual. Maybe people, and also this could also be people that you meet maybe in some long distance journey. So those are some things to look at. Now, as far as Saturn goes, we'll still be in Sagittarius, and the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So this could be about, in some cases, it could be that Pisces is taking care of a debilitated older person, or the dominant parent, which is generally the father. It's taking responsibilities for their beliefs and their philosophies, perhaps matters connected with the career. Could in some cases be that maybe the philosophy might be a little bit restricted and might be hard to expand horizons when you're talking about Saturn and Sagittarius in the 10th house and in 10th house energy. I would say that's definitely a strong possibility. This could also be too that Pisces might be affected in terms of their career, maybe by somebody that's older, and that might embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, such as somebody that might be very wise, have wisdom, and be sagacious. This could be about also about taking that responsibility for one's public image and one's reputation at this time as well. And it might be, I mean, Saturn is about limitation, restriction, so there might be some limitation, restriction if you're trying to get some kind of recognition or accolades for something as well, Pisces, during this time. Now, the next thing is, well, Uranus will still be in Aries, and of course, the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, Pisces, well, this could indicate perhaps making money, perhaps in some unusual capacity, or maybe through something Uranus-like, like an esoteric subject like astrology, through innovation, invention, perhaps through something connected with electronics or computers. Keep in mind too that Uranus does govern electricity, so in 2nd house is where you make your money. So I think it's important to be careful with this time, Pisces. If you're the place where you're generating your income, be especially more careful when dealing with wires and at this place. So there could be a little greater propensity, I think, toward getting some shock at this place than usual. And speaking of shocks, Uranus could have very spontaneous, shocking energy, and it could be matters connected with your finances. And also, there might be surprising things that happen that might affect your self-worth or self-esteem. And really, another thing too is it might be a time where you might be getting some kind of more apt to accumulate possessions that might be Uranus-like, such as more computer, electronic-like devices, and building up perhaps on things that are connected with new technology, buying more of the state-of-the-art equipment, so to speak, for different things. So anyway. Well, the next thing is Neptune will still be in Pisces, and of course the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, Pisces, and especially, I mean, if we're talking about the actual ascendant, and especially if you have a conjunction to it, I think you could be looking at where the vitality might feel a little dissipated and dissolved than usual. There might be a little greater propensity to come into contact with some kind of drugs or chemicals, whether it might be through recreational use, or it could be, say, for example, an accidental spillage of some chemical on you, hitting you, or accidental assimilation of it, such as radon. It could also be that you might, I mean, Pisces could be like this anyway, but when you're talking about Neptune in first house energy, well, I mean, you could be talking about Pisces appearing more nebulous, more unclear than usual, a little bit more ambivalent and indecisive, but yet could be even more imaginative at this time than usual. And anyway, and also it could be about confusion over maybe an indecision connected with maybe making new beginnings, and the outlook can be a little bit unclear as well at this time. And anyway, well, the next thing is Pluto will still be in Capricorn, of course, and the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, I know people don't like hearing the dreaded D word, but we're talking about the 11th house, and Pluto is associated with death, so it does increase the propensity a little bit anyway for perhaps a friend or acquaintance to pass away at this time. This could also be about a figurative ending, perhaps of some goal or aspiration, but at the same time, Pluto is also about a regeneration and rebirth. So keep that in mind as well as far as aspirations and goals may go. This could be about, I mean, you're looking at, I mean, if there's any future plans you might feel there, I mean, they might be some obliterated or destroyed at this time, but they could be reborn again. And I mean, Pluto is about rebirth, and you might set some new goals and aspirations at this time. And also, it might be a time where you might delve into groups and organizations that might be, might be connected with very deep and very dark like subjects. It could be connected with the supernatural and the occult at this time. And anyway, Pluto is also associated with surgery. So it could be that you might have a friend or acquaintance that you might run into might undergo this, or it's possible that this, I mean, that surgery is something that I mean, we're talking about 11th house aspiration, so it could be something, surgery or something else Pluto-like associated with one's aspirations, and even something connected with making a major transformation. So anyway, well, the next thing is, well, the North Node will still be in Leo, and the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, Pisces may be taking pride and dignity in their work and their health at this time. This could be, I mean, when you're talking about the North Node in transit, this could be about confronting issues. So it could be about something health related, Leo-like, such as the heart, or something connected, perhaps like with the upper back, something that might be Leo related at this time. The issues might have to be confronted health-wise. So, and also, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, the 6th house, is the daily routine. It's taking the pride and dignity in things that are connected with your daily routine, and showing, and really, I think too, when you look at this, I mean, if this person has pets, say this could be about taking that love, really that Leo generosity, and using that. Doesn't have, I mean, it doesn't have to be expressed through monetary ways, but being generous of one's time with these pets. So if applicable, if you do have them. So anyway, the next thing is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Sagittarius as far as November goes, from the 1st until the 9th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, well, this could be perhaps an unveiling about something connected with the dominant parent, which is often the father. It could be something connected with the person's reputation, which is said with the veritable, that's Sagittarius, like strong veritable truth and veracity, or at least Sagittarius, or at least someone's own veracity. Anyway, when it discussed in a very blunt and outspoken manner, I should say. This could be, I mean, about a revelation connected with an authority figure, with the dominant parent. It could be something Sagittarius related, such as some kind of gambling situation going on, some compulsive gambling situation going on, something which was very, where maybe you look at this, and Sagittarius energy can be very big, and it can be just something that was simply that was very big that happened. Could be a tremendous lie that was said. It could be where it might be a warped philosophy that comes out that might be connected with the dominant parent or some kind of authority figure, somebody associated with your career. So and remember that Sagittarius might be about strong veracity and truth, but if Sagittarius energy, it's lying, it could be very prodigious as well. So it could be about a strong, prodigious lie that comes out about you that might be in an attempt to affect your reputation in a negative way. So anyway, well, the next thing is, as far as November goes, the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn from the 9th until the 30th, and the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Capricorn. So at this time, this could be a time for Pisces where, I mean, there could be a very strong, formidable adversary that might come out that was a former friend or acquaintance or somebody you met in a group. That could either be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply be somebody that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics in a very negative way. Somebody that's overly ambitious, ruthless, a person on that takes career matters over just about everything else. A person very undemonstrative or very cold and callous. And also it could be too that maybe something dark comes out connected with a friend, perhaps, or somebody you know in a group or organization that comes out with that's something very depressing and very sad comes out, that's unveiled at this time from somebody in connection with what I just stated. So anyway, well, last but not least, Chiron will be in Pisces still, and the 1st house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time, well, Pisces might experience some strong wounds, literal wounds perhaps at this time, especially if we're talking about the actual ascendant. If we're a conjunction to it, especially we talk about the sun and a conjunction to it, especially the vitality there could be wounds to that. And Pisces is not exactly known to have an overabundance of energy anyway. So, I mean, you're talking that this could be issues with the vitality. It could be issues that affect Pisces physically, perhaps something with the lymphatic system and or feet, toes. It could also be something drug or alcohol related, chemical related, that affects Pisces adversely at this time. It could keep in mind too that that Chiron is the wounded healer. So that being said, there can also be something where Pisces shows more of his or herself an ability to want to heal others and help others even more so than usual. In doing so, perhaps through that Pisces, through that Pisces like compassion and empathy and self-sacrifice. And this will be, and the person will see, and since we're talking about the first house, this is what will be seen more on that first impression, especially since we're talking about, I mean, especially if it's the ascendant, of course, if it's actually the literal ascendants, and Chiron is in the first house of Pisces, so I mean by transit. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Pisces November 2017 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about the upcoming 2017-2018 Black Moon Lilith and Capricorn transit. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.